first item on the agenda is the approval of last month's minutes. The commissioners have received their packages. They've had a chance to go through the minutes. If there are no changes, suggestions, or recommendations, I call for a motion. I have a motion, Mr. Owens. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Okay, I didn't know. Who did that come from?
Bacote.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. All right, I have a second to approve as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote, and we're going to have to do hands and ayes. All those in favor say aye and raise your hand. Aye. And all those against say nay and raise your hand.
Aye. Nay.
Okay.
Nay.
Our guest will not be voting on this. This is purely for the commissioners, and that is approving the minutes from last month. I do appreciate your participation, and we'll have a public public hearing portion of this, and you'll have a chance, sir, to give us your name and state your business. So I do thank you for being on under the difficult times. And right now we have a unanimous vote on approving the minutes from last month. So our next item on the agenda is PC 2020-22. This is a request to rezone and annex. And I call Mr. Lane. Your staff report, please.
Good evening. Yes, sir. Just give me a minute to share the. All right. Yes, this is a request to zone activity center, pending annexation, about 2 acres located on Jody Road, identified as tax map numbers 12301, 152, 0012301 right of way, and a portion of tax map numbers 0012301 5 and 6. This is a vicinity map showing the parcels in question. The portions of these 2 parcels are in the kind of the ivory color there. And the purpose of this is the city has purchased those parcels off of Jody Road there that are in portion of 6 to put the new city fire station. And then the rest of it is just a 10-foot strip. So it's obviously not quite to scale, to provide contiguity to city limits, which is shown in blue. This is a closer up shot of it. If you're familiar with this area, it's off Hoffmeyer Road between Darlington and Jody Road. The big building on the bottom of your screen there is the Palmetto Peddlers Antique Mall, and the apartments there. The area across Darlington Street, which is in the city, is zoned commercial general. The area around it is in the county. The future land use for the whole area is industrial, but there is some multifamily use in there as well. This is the property survey showing those 2 parcels that the city has purchased. The long skinny part coming off Jody Road will provide access, that's the right of way, to the parcel on the left, which will be where the actual fire station is constructed. And here's a conceptual layout showing it, where the building will be. It will accommodate a 40-foot buffer yard between the building and the property line that butts up against the multifamily. And these are some site photos. The ones on the top are along that 10-foot strip from Darlington Street. Nothing will be built there, so there'll be no change. The lower left picture is where the right-of-way will go through. And then the lower right picture is the site where the actual fire station will be, and that line of bushes will be kept there as part of the buffer yard. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. I have just a quick question, then I'll open it up to the commissioners. This is what we call the typical flag lot. And, we've always heard about the flag lot.
Well, okay, yeah. It does have full access onto Jody Road. It's the annexation strip that makes it look a little bit. Yeah, different.
But it's still only one ingress egress, which is Jody.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting, but It would be called a flag lot if we didn't have the veterinarian and the moose lodge there, right?
Yes.
Or Elks Lodge. Okay, I'm just trying to learn from that. All right, do the commissioners have any questions of staff regarding this issue? No. Hearing none. Oh, I heard a noise.
You heard Betty Gray.
Hey, Miss Gregg, do you have a question?
No, I didn't know whether y'all heard me or not because when I did video, I could see y'all, but I couldn't hear y'all. So now I can't see y'all, but I can hear y'all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miss Gregg. I appreciate you calling in. Hey, Miss Hines. Hi. Okay, so I'll open the public hearing portion of this. If there's anyone that'd like to speak against or for this request, I'll invite you to introduce yourself and make your statement. Seeing or hearing no one, I am going to close the public hearing portion of this and call for a motion.
I move that we recommend approval of the applicant's request.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have
Second.
a motion and a second by Ms. Gregg to approve as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those that are in favor say aye.
Aye.
And by against, say nay. All right, the motion passes. The ayes have it unanimously. Thank you. All right, next item is PC 2020-24. Good evening, sir. Staff report.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to share my PowerPoint. Okay, this is a request to rezone a property from NC15 Neighborhood Conservation to NC10 Neighborhood Conservation. We'll get there eventually. There's a little bit of a delay.
And this is subject to annexation, or is it already in?
This is already within the city limits, so this is just clearly
Okay.
this is just for zoning. So here's the parcel in question. This is off of Marion Avenue. You can see Second Loop Road down to the south. This is the end of Marion Avenue, and to the north is Jeffries Creek. Currently, it is zoned NC15, as are the rest of the houses on Marion Avenue. And to the north, you have Jeffries Creek, and that is open space recreation. So the future land use is for neighborhood conservation. Here's a panorama picture. It looks a little curved, but it actually is just a straight road. This is the parcel in question. The far left side kind of leads down to Jeffries Creek. So here is the proposed plat that the applicant has submitted. The NC10 lot standards that he would like to meet with these parcels, the width of the lot must be 80 feet and the minimum area must be 10,000 square feet. And lot 14B and lot 14C meet both of these requirements. And there will be a remainder portion. Along Marion Avenue, the averages for the single family homes, the width is about 130 feet. In the area for the homes along Marion Avenue are about 19,000 square feet. So this is a 1.67 acre lot. It is within the special flood hazard area. So the applicant is hoping to keep these two parcels outside of the special flood zone area to not have any construction restrictions as far as staying above the base flood level. And then obviously the third will be the remainder. He hopes to do two houses on the first two parcels and then maybe in the future do a third house in the remainder portion. And as I said, that would encroach into the special flood zone area. So the dotted line is about where the end of the parcels will be. So it kind of lines up with the house at 1401 Marion Avenue. And as you can see, building there would have no construction restrictions. Once, if the applicant wanted to go past that portion, you would get into that flood zone AE, and the top of the bottom floor would have to be built 1 foot above the base flood elevation, which is 90 feet above sea level. And one of the conditions of the floodway is that that 20-foot riparian buffer must be maintained. So that is just natural vegetation, scrubland that just can't be disturbed to protect Jeffries Creek. And here's an aerial photo to kind of give you a better idea of where everything lines up. This is the same as the previous one. It just kind of shows where it lines up in relation to the other houses on Marion Avenue. The applicant is requesting the NC10 rezoning. He could construct 2 homes under the current zoning NC15. He would just have to make the lot widths a little wider, which would start to encroach into that flood zone area. So it would be beneficial for the applicant for the NC10 instead of the NC15. So that does conclude staff's report.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the commissioners regarding staff's report?
I have a quick question, Mr. Chairman.
Is that Mr. Owens?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, please.
I just had a question for staff. I did not have time to go look at the tables which show, conditional and permitted uses for NC10 and NC15. And I wondered if we could get just sort of a synopsis of what the difference may or may not be in housing types that are allowed in NC10 versus NC15.
Okay, yeah, the NC15 and the NC10 can only have single family detached homes. So there will be no commercial development or multifamily. It will have to be single family homes.
Well, the gist is that the lots in NC15 would have to be a little bit wider. That's the biggest difference.
The square footage of the NC10 is only 10,000 square feet. And the NC15 is 15,000 square feet. So the way the property is, the only way for him to get up to that square footage would be to increase the lot widths.
Okay. Thank you. That answers all my questions.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Any other questions of staff? What I'll do now, and I think we have a couple of guests that would like to speak, but I will open the public hearing portion of this. And the way this works is I'll accept one at a time. You need to introduce yourself and then limit your discussion to 3 minutes if possible. So opening the public hearing portion of this, and invite anybody that is for or against this to speak up. And I'll take you one at a time. Okay, I see the gentleman with his hand up. Sir, would you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Benjamin Fisher, and I live at 1301 Rollins Avenue.
Sir.
And and my property is directly bordering the allotted lot in question.
Okay.
And my main concern is when they fill the land in, there's going to be flooding issues upstream and environmental issues on my property. Because I own that floodplain and I'm worried about runoff. I maintain this property for the native species of South Carolina and try to get rid of the non-natives such as privet, kudzu, wisteria, things like that. And as for the field in question, it is an amazing resource for the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood comes down here. They bring their dogs. They go fishing. I went birding yesterday with Travis Knowles, and within 8:30 to 10:30 a.m., we saw 22 different species of birds and 74 individual birds in total in that short amount of time in that field. And all of them are native species. And also, there seems to be an issue with where they put the borders of the tax map at. It seems to be encroaching onto my property, and I hired a surveyor today to come and check that out. So I am still waiting on results on that, but especially with them widening the lots, I understand they're probably widening towards the creek, but there might be there's already encroachment issues on my property, so I'm very concerned about that.
Well, thank you, first of all, for being here tonight.
Well,
I
thank you
value
very
that
much.
highly, and that's what makes this body work very hard for the citizens. And our first goal is to protect people like yourself, while
Mhm.
protect the rights of property owners. So it's a balancing act there. First of all, I'm impressed with the different species of birds you saw in that one little visit. I'm kind of a birder myself, so. I'm
Well, my property next to it is 18 acres, and I have devoted it to the native species of South Carolina. I'm even certified by the NWF, the National Wildlife Foundation, as a property that's an ideal habitat for native species to breed.
Wow, you're certainly a jewel and a blessing to our community. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that.
There are a couple of things here that, and I understand your concern. First of all, I'm going to try to address a couple of your concerns, but then turn it back over to the planning department and let them give you a little bit more confidence in your concerns, or confidence that you should not have a concern. But as far as the tax map overlay, it is not an exact science. In fact, they highly recommend that whenever you use GIS, do not use that as an absolute line of demarcation or ownership. It's not flawed, it's just not accurate. And the survey that you ordered today is the right way to really determine what is yours and if there are any encroachments. So you have started out certainly in the right direction by ordering that survey. As far as the flooding and those issues, the only thing I'm going to say there is the owner of the property is going to have to get licensing, permitting, and approvals to do anything in there. And the first thing that the city planning department and their engineering staff are going to do is make sure that it doesn't cause flooding on anybody else's property. They're going to make sure that this developer builder is going to build within the standards of what DHEC and all the water protection that's out there now will be built under. But I am just a layman. I am going to ask the staff to step forward and give you some comfort as to how your rights will be protected.
Thank you. One more question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the permit from the Army Corps of Engineers?
Do I have a survey from the Army Corps?
A survey or a permit, either one.
Some of that is available online. I do not, or I don't know if the owner does, and I'll let staff address that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Hello, Mr. Fisher. My name's Jerry Dudley. I'm the planning director with the city of Florence.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, hello. And we don't have any Army Corps permit as of yet. As of this date, no application to build or fill anything has been submitted to the city. Only a potential plat and an application to rezone the property to essentially a similar zoning district that would allow a bit smaller lot there. So at this time, there's no requirement for that. However, we have relayed our floodplain concerns to the property owner. And much of the property, I would say a third to more than a third of it is not able to be developed per the city of Florence, the current standards we have in place. Our current ordinance, our floodplain ordinance, as well as a Jeffries Creek overlay district that we have in place, prevents development within the established floodway, not the 100-year flood zone, but the actual floodway, the delineated floodway of the property, as well as a 20-foot riparian buffer beyond that, which has to be maintained. So a fair portion of the property is not able to be developed. Now, a portion of the 100-year floodplain could be built in, which was the light blue area on that map that Derek had shown earlier, not the dark blue, but the lighter blue and that tan color. And we can throw the map up if that would help again. But that area could be developed in, and fill could potentially occur in that area, but it would have to meet standards of ours, you know, for the construction code, the building code, and floodplain requirements.
I am very concerned because I am directly downstream of it, and there's quite a steep drop off between that property and mine already. So I'm very concerned about erosion control, and that field always floods every time there's a high water event. So that flooding event would push that sediment onto my property and will kill. There's a little stream that runs actually right parallel with it, and it would kill all the salamanders and newts that breed in it. Not to mention the frogs and crawfish, and I've even seen otters in it. But I digress.
Mr.
That is my main concern, is it affecting the environmental impact on my property. And have you done any environmental surveys?
Mr. Fisher, let me step in here just for a second. Our job tonight is the Planning Commission is not to determine if the owner has the right to build or where he builds. Our job tonight is determine if we approve the rezoning.
Okay.
And so we're not into the technical side of it tonight. It's just, do the commissioners feel that the owner, and in the best interest of the city, is it to allow his request to rezone from one to the other? It's not whether he should build there, can build there, has he done any testing? All that is yet to come.
Okay.
I want to remind the commissioners that our task tonight is purely to determine whether we approve or not approve the request to rezone. And Mr. Fisher, I think this is a process that you're going to be very good at. I encourage you to, whether we approve it or not approve it, we're just a recommending body. From us, it goes to the city council, and there will be several readings there, but that's just on the rezoning. Then you start getting into permitting and all that. So your rights and your protection are still valid. I encourage you to, play a part of it. Attend the city council meetings. Play a role in this. And you've got, certainly a lot at stake, but at the same time, I think tonight is, we're getting deep in the weeds on things that we're not going to be able to resolve.
I understand, and I also understand I'm probably pushing my time limit. So I probably have said all I need to, and I appreciate you guys listening to me.
Mr. Fisher, I've enjoyed you being on, and like I said, I encourage you to continue on this process, and I think you'll learn a lot, and I think we'll learn a lot from you as well. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against this request? I do not hear anyone. I do not see anyone. I'm going to ask one more time. Is there anyone that would like to speak up and say something in regards to this request? Not hearing any. I am going to close the public hearing portion of this and call for a motion.
Move that we recommend approval of the applicant's request.
I have a motion to approve by Mr. Owens. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Ms. Hines to approve as requested. And again, this is just to approve the rezoning request. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And like sign nay. Hearing no nays, and Mr. Fisher, you will not be voting in this. This is purely for the commissioners, but it is unanimous to approve the rezoning. And Mr. Fisher, I look forward to your visits more often.
I appreciate you talking with me again. Thank you.
All right. Okay, the next item on the agenda is PC 2020-25. Ms. Elaine,
Yes,
staff
sir.
report, please.
right, this is the zone NC.1 pending annexation. Two separate lots located at 3553 Texas Road and 695 Florida Drive. And these are county tax map numbers 741, 01, 7, and 8. This is a vicinity map. These parcels are located in the Oak Forest subdivision, which is located on Southborough Road out in West Florence in Oakdale. And as you can see, the west side of Texas Road is already in the city limits. This parcel, these two parcels are directly west of that, or east of that. I'm sorry, I'm all twisted up. And the parcel on Texas Road, the 3553, is needed to give contiguity to the one on Florida Drive, but they both did request annexation. The area around it is, the area along Texas Road is also zoned NC 6.1, which is what the zoning is being requested. And the zoning for the rest of the subdivision is R3 in the county. So only residential development. The future land use is neighborhood conservation. So that is in keeping with the zoning. And these are just photos of the two houses in question. And as you can see, it's a single family neighborhood, and the only uses permitted in the NC 6.1 are single family. So that concludes staff's report.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. Commissioners, do you have any questions of staff? Hearing none, I'll open the public hearing portion of this. If anyone would like to speak for or against, I invite you to come or announce yourself and give us your name. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing portion of this and call for a motion.
I move that we approve I move that we approve the applicant's request for rezoning pending annexation as submitted.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Goat, seconded. I have a motion and a second to approve as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And like signs, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. PC 2020-26.
Easy enough. This is a request to zone also NC 6.1 pending annexation. The lot located at 234 East Shenandoah Lane, identified as tax map number 90113012120. This is the vicinity map. This is located off of North Irby Street before you get to Sam Harrell Road. It is next to a park and some open area owned by the city. As you can see here, it is in a subdivision as well. And it is zoned NC 6.1, the lots that are in the city limits. It's a bit of a hodgepodge in there. But that is what it's a single family neighborhood. And so that zoning is in keeping with the rest of it. And it is recommended for neighborhood conservation for the future land use. And here's a picture of the house in question. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you, Ms. Lane. Commissioners, any questions of staff? Hearing none, I will open the public hearing and invite anyone that may be attending to speak for or against this request. Hearing no one, I close the public hearing. Call for a motion.
I move that we recommend approval of the request.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Hines, a motion and a second to approve is submitted. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like signs, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Moving along now. You know, it's kind of nice having that tight little group right there. You know, we're okay. The last item on the agenda is PC 2020-26.
We just did that one.
Really? That was the last one.
We did the last.
That was the last.
What was the last?
Mm-hmm.
This is my
Y'all are
favorite.
just getting on a roll
And
here.
Mr. Moses is not even here to motion adjournment. Who would like to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Ms. Hines and Mr. Picode. Mr. Picode, thank you all very much. Y'all stay healthy. Look forward when we can get together again. And Ms. Gregg and Ms. Y'all both owe me a hug when we get together.
We owe you plenty of hugs, okay? All right, y'all be blessed.
All right, you guys take care.
Stay healthy.
Good seeing everybody.
Okay then. Okay, bye-bye.